नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल, सलाम, hello दोस्तों. Welcome once again to your favorite YouTube financial education channel stockincome.in. I am Alok Verma and as always I intend to discuss my weekly outlook for the coming week, which is starting 6th of June 2022. Standard disclaimer, this is video only for educational purposes and it's my opinion only. I am not a SEBI certified investment advisor, so I reserve a right to be wrong. Let's move. So, dividing the various factors that can impact the markets into news and data driven aspects and technicals, and let's talk of news data first. The key indices, they were largely flattish, showed very little movement, whether it's a Nifty and Bank Nifty. Nifty was clearly outperforming the Bank Nifty. Actually, Bank Nifty primarily dropped yesterday only. And S&P 500 and Nasdaq, they have been on the lower side also, but not much. So it's a bit of flat. The week has been a bit flat. So let's see what the other things telling us. FI buying and DI buying. FI have been major sellers for the month of May. This data is for the month of May consolidated, and they've sold more than 54,000 crores. Now this is among the highest selling FI months in the last couple of years. Last time this figure was crossed was in March 2020, which we remember was the start of COVID. And similarly, DII bought a similar figure or more in the month of March 2020 only. So these large figures have come after a long period of time, and let's see how things move going forward. All these figures are in rupees crores, INR crores. Okay, interest rates hike have been a topic of conversation. They impact the financial markets in a very direct and significant way. And interest rate में क्या हो रहा है? MPC, which is the Monetary Policy Committee of RBI, which decides interest rates, वो मिल रहे हैं 6 to 8 June को उनका meeting है, and 8 June they announce the decision. High chances that MPC will announce interest rate hike of 25 to 50 basis point. This is the larger consensus, right? Market already knows it since it's kind of available. The RBI governor has given such hints. At the same time, when the decision actually comes, it does tend to surprise market. So 8 June could be little volatile, especially for Bank Nifty. Talking of other parts of the world, Reserve Bank of Australia has already increased the interest rates by 25 basis points. They're likely to increase further this week, right? And European Central Bank, which is also under pressure to reduce the easy money policy, they are meeting this week and they might be announcing some kind of plan of increasing the interest rate. They may not increase immediately, but they might also be increasing. The reason across the board is high inflation, which is fueled by so many factors: supply chain disruptions, Ukraine-Russia war, high crude prices, all these COVID, all these are impacting this, are making the reasons why inflation is so high. India ka VIX has reduced significantly from the previous week, so it has dropped around 7%. It's now at 19.97%, which is okay, which is a reasonable level, still on the higher side, but shows some confidence, some sanity returning to the markets, which is a good factor for us. Crude oil has been troubling us. Crude has consistently been trading above $100 per barrel. I'm talking the WTI grade. Last week it increased, and this week again there is an increase of about 4.1%. And we know crude causes a lot of inflation, causes prices of everything practically to go up, and causes stress in the world. And India remains one of the countries who are the most significantly impacted by higher crude prices. I mean, negatively impacted. So, matter of concern for us. US has a very important statistic that comes on every first Friday of every month. So that is non-farm payroll data. This is basically the jobs data, and expectation was that it will be in the range of 325 to 328,000, but it has come surprisingly positive for US, it has come at 39,000, right, and 390,000, and which is a huge positive. Incidentally, after it came last evening, the markets actually fell, the US markets actually fell, but all in all it's a positive. But there is a flip side to it. Now that's very interesting. We know US Fed has been trying to increase, they've already increased interest rates and they've gone into that cycle of increasing interest rates. Now when interest rates increase, what is the danger? The danger is economy, the growth might slow down. So that is the kind of, that puts pressure on US Fed not to increase interest rate much. But when such strong job data comes, so they also get a confidence, okay, that it's okay to keep increasing interest rate. So it works other way also. जब interest rate बढ़ता है तो मार्केट डाउन जाता है, राइट? सो अभी इंटरेस्ट जॉब्स डेटा अच्छा आया, सो दे माइट बी मोर श्योर ऑफ इंक्रीजिंग इंटरेस्ट रेट बिकॉज दे आर लाइक इकोनॉमी इज नॉट गोइंग डाउन विद इंटरेस्ट रेट इंक्रीज. सो इट्स अ डबल एज सॉर्ड. ओके, ज्ञान कौर का ज्ञान. ओके, दैट ज्ञान कौर फ्रेंड इज ऑलवेज बीन हेल्पिंग अस and let's see what she got for this week. In fact, I met her and she is telling me she was watching TV for a change and some business channel, and one of the analysts said something which she has picked up and she is willing to share with us also. So it was on CNBC that she heard one of the analysts. Now this, she is also not 100% sure of this data, but data cannot be hugely different, right? So what she says is, one analyst tells her that Nifty or Sensex एक जैसे ही चलते हैं, they have given returns in the range of 1600 to 1700% since 2001. 16 से 17 टाइम्स आपका पैसा हो गया. अगर आपने 1 करोड़ लगाया था, it has become 16 or 17 crore without doing much in last 20 years. Big returns, right? If you had put the same money in say FD, it would have probably become 3 times, 4 times maximum. Now you're talking 16, 17 times, right? So a big positive. But what is very interesting is, if you had missed out on the 20 biggest days in last 20 years, if you are not there in the market those days, your returns would be lesser by around 60%. So 20 biggest days have counted for 60% of these returns, right? That's a very startling fact. So there's a big learning here. What's a key learning? What's a key gyan for us today? We say money is made by spending time in the market, by being in the market, and not by timing the market. And you don't have to time the market. अभी नीचे जाएगा तो खरीदूंगा, ऊपर जाएगा तो बेचूंगा. Spend time in the market. Naturally, it's a good idea to buy the quality stocks, etc. only. But spend time in the markets. That's how you make money. Don't try to time the market. I don't think anyone has been able to successfully, consistently time the markets. Okay, let's move on to technical stuff. So Nifty, this is the Nifty chart for the week, and let's see what's happening here. We have Nifty currently trading at around 16,600, right, and 584, and the levels, we thought it will breach 16,800, 850 level. It just kissed that level and came back, right? Huge selling came. So that level is still sacrosanct. So on the upper side there is a key resistance at 16,800, 850, and on the lower side 16,400 has now become a support. So I feel Nifty might trade between these two levels in the coming week, while there are other levels. 16,650 itself is showing some resistance that has also not been breached convincingly. Markets haven't really been there above this level convincingly. So that itself is providing some kind of resistance. On the lower side, if 16,400 is broken, 15,900 and 15,700 are the next support levels. Talking of Nifty options, so options tell us that 16,800 and 17,000 excuse me, are high resistance areas. Markets may not cross that. And on the other side, on the lower side, 16,300 and 16,000, there's a lot of open interest. So those are the areas that might provide some support there. Okay. And if Gyan Kaur was here, how can Hoshyar Singh be far behind? So Hoshyar Singh ki Hoshyari, let's see what Hoshyari he has for us. We know Hoshyar Singh, our friend, is a very street smart person. He picks up things very quickly, helps us make money sometimes. So few weeks back he had projected banking stocks, and then he had said IT stocks could do well in the short run, and well they did. I just hope those of us who heard to his advice, his Hoshyari, probably made some good money there. And let's see what he says now. His eyes this week are focused on the GAIL buyback offer. So GAIL is offering to buy back around 5.69 crore shares from the present shareholders at a price of 190 rupees. Remember, the current going price is around 148. So there is a huge price benefit, huge upside of more than 28%, right? So what Hoshyar Singh is saying is that record date, remember, for these shares eligibility is 22nd April, which means if on 22nd April you had GAIL shares in your account, demat or physical for that matter, then you might be eligible to tender shares in this buyback. So Hushar Singh says good idea to tender shares, and you might buy back the similar quantity if you want to keep a portfolio similar, the similar quantity from open market at much lower price. I know, what a smart way to make some quick money. Thank you, Hushar Singh, and let's move forward. Let's talk about Bank Nifty here. So Bank Nifty is again showing a lot of levels, and I feel the levels to watch out are 36,600. It may not cross that level for this week, while there are other levels also which are marked on the chart. And 36,100 itself is providing some resistance. In fact, 35,700 might be a resistance as well. It hasn't traded above that convincingly, but 36,100 is yet to be crossed. On the lower side, 34,000 to 33,300 is these are two key levels on the lower side. So I feel Bank Nifty for this week should trade between 34,000 on the lower side and 36,600 on the higher side. In terms of options data, we see there's a lot of option interest, call interest at 36,000 levels and 35,500 levels. On the lower side, there's a support at 34,500 levels. But the interesting thing is here, right? At put options at 35,500. Now what has happened is there's a huge open interest here. In fact, open interest increased yesterday by around 89%. Why? What is happening? Bank Nifty was trading higher than this level for most part of the day yesterday, and suddenly in the closing hours it collapsed. So these guys who have sold puts for 35,500 seem to be trapped. And on Monday, if Bank Nifty doesn't open above these levels, these guys or moves lower, these guys are likely to run for cover. They might have to cover their shorts, and that can lead to further downside in the market. So these guys seem to be in trouble. Don't get fooled by this being a support area. This might actually be a trouble area, right? Okay, so and now time for our favorite, I know you've been waiting for it, Oreo indicator. So let's see what our friend Oreo has, what's his opinion on the market for the week starting 6th of June, and let's call Oreo. So once again we have our in-house market expert, Mr. Oreo, and we'll seek his opinion about the direction of the market for the week starting 6th of June. So Mr. Oreo, welcome, and let us know your opinion. Are the markets going to be bullish or bearish? Please tell us. Oreo, please pick up one. Bullish or bearish? Mr. Oreo, we want your opinion. He's quite well dressed today. Oreo, he's thinking. I think he's thinking hard. He's analyzing. Oreo, go there. Bullish or bearish? Oreo? Oreo? Mr. Oreo, help us. One. Oh, he's clearly bullish this week. Thank you friends for listening to me, for subscribing to the channel, for liking, for sharing your comments. Keep being with us, keep staying with us. I hope it's making sense to you, it's being meaningful to you. Thank you, goodbye, God bless.